The Engadin Valley around St. Moritz. This alpine landscape has helped create the idyllic notions of the winter wonderland Switzerland. A century and a half of winter sports tourism has left its traces here in the southeast of the country. It all started small, but now the village of 5,000 souls hosts up to 25,000 people at any given moment during high season.
The air is so bracing in the mountains, in the snow.
So, wow, exciting.
Not everyone can afford this luxury hotel of ours. That's a fact that is just as much a part of our location as the sun or the snow.
The light, the mountains, they're definitely a key factor. And then there's the Grand Hotel, which was developed at a very early stage, and the life it brought with it.
Development began here at the Hotel Kulm. In 1864, its director, Johannes Barthold, laid the cornerstone for the winter tourism industry. Back then, visitors to the exclusive hotel only came during the summer months. Barthold wagered with 6 English guests that in winter they could sit out on the terrace in shirt sleeves and promised to cover their travel costs if they couldn't.
150 years ago, it was the same sun, the same warmth.
The hotelier won his bet, and from that year on, the guests came back every winter. St. Moritz quickly turned into a watering hole for the rich and famous. Its glamour drew increasingly prominent guests. In the 60s, they included jet-set couple Günther Sachs and Brigitte Bardot. They came for the skiing and the parties.
For big balls back then, they would flood the dining rooms when they decided to go with the Venetian motif. They did a lot of really crazy, fantastic things. It was an exciting time.
Even in Switzerland, there are few streets that can compare with the St. Moritz shopping mile. German fashion designer and filmmaker Willy Bogner likes to visit the luxury stores with his wife Sonia. He knows the village well. After all, he shot about 30 of his films in St. Moritz.
I interviewed the Shah of Iran upstairs, as well as lots of other people who've been here. Gianna Anelli from Fiat, for example. Back in those wild days, it was pretty much non-stop.
Bogner has spent his winters in St. Moritz for over 50 years. This is where he won his first major alpine ski race.
I remember how it felt to be 17 here, what that felt like, and compare it to how it feels today. What hasn't changed is the fun everyone has with skiing. Back then we had it with our old wooden planks, and nowadays you have it with an ultra-modern pair.
The best-known ski resorts here are on the local mountains, Corviglia and Korvach. They offer a range of experiences, from classic alpine runs to deep snow-free skiing.
There are optimal conditions for very good skiers, not just those groomed white flat slopes for beginners.
During the winter, we have a lot of fresh snow. It is just amazing.
Yeah, really fun, definitely. Not so it's challenging, but not too much.
Winter tourism was marketed by St. Moritz early on. Even then, it usually targeted an exclusive clientele, as this exhibition of old posters shows. Just like in the rest of Switzerland, a winter vacation in St. Moritz doesn't come cheap. One reason tourist numbers have been falling over several years now. Events like the 150-year anniversary are aimed at turning that around. Willy Bogner does what he can to advertise.
The most exciting thing about this sport is the youth scene. It's very creative and always searching for something new in order to compare it with what doesn't change. That experience of nature, being up on the mountain alone, the view, that doesn't change.
The Swiss Alps have been calling winter sports fans for 150 years. Lots of things have changed here, but the magic of the mountains endures.